Hey, welcome back, y'all. There's already been a lot of reviews on this knife, but I figured I'd go ahead and talk about it. It's nothing new. It's a SOG Huntspoint. It's made of All-8A steel, and basically, just go over the specs real quick on it. I'll show it to you. I haven't used it. I hadn't had it that long. I haven't used this one at all yet. So if you're not interested in somebody that hasn't used a knife, just click the video off. Anyway, the ergos, I'll get into that. Basically, the specs, I mean, if you don't want to look them up and you hadn't really considered buying this yet, I would say it's an awesome buy. It's obviously a fixed blade, full tang, okay? Your blade length is 3.6 inches, that's including the finger choil. The finger choil is very, very generous, as you can see. I can get some of that leather off the... There we go. As you can see, the finger choil is really generous. Okay. The weight is 3.7 ounces. The overall length is 8.2 inches. But really and truly, it really feels like it's longer than that. I have a Benchmade in their Hunt series that's been discontinued that I'm going to compare that to in a minute. Just to show you that they're the same length, but just because of the handle, it really looks like a lot more knife than what it is. It feels like a lot more knife than what it is. It's satin polish finished with All-8, like I said. The Rockwell hardness is 56 to 58, just like most are All-8. The handle's glass reinforced nylon. Well, the glass reinforced nylon, excuse me, is the black. All this in the orange is actually kind of like a TPE handle from Schrade. It's rubberized, but it's a really, really hard rubber. You can't sink that rubber in with anything. I'm sure if you took a nail and drove it through there, you could. But anyhow, as you can see, it has a proud tang. A proud tang. As I've heard from other YouTubers, that's just a tang that extends past your handle scales. Overall, the knife costs $25 and some change on Midway USA, and I think it is an absolute steal. I wish I would have bought 2 or 3 of these to give away as gifts, and just to use one to thrash on, just to see what it could take, you know, out in the woods, being that it's SOG All-8. I'm used to cold steels All-8. I don't have a lot of SOG All-8, but anyhow, the sharpness straight out of the box, I've never cut anything with this. I just put it up, but it's pretty awesome. It's remarkable. Now I don't know, you know, it's not going to do like magazine paper real good, but I don't know if it's going to do magazine paper that well because it's really, you know, thin. But I mean, you're going to get pretty darn good initial sharpness out of the box. I would say plenty of skin width. Okay, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of cutting paper here. But anyhow, the knife itself is it's got this grip, this traction. It's kind of like jimping built into the top of the handle, and then you have some very aggressive, only 4 lines of jimping here, but it's very aggressive right here, and I really appreciated that. And here, the same thing, the same aggressiveness right here at the bottom. I don't see that causing hot spots if you're just using it to skin or do normal camp chores. Over time, I could see like it's not going to bother me over time, this proud tang. Some people might get bothered by that. The leather sheath is a leather sheath, and it is like a Chinese made leather sheath, and you can tell it all the way. Even when I put the knife in, this started to separate here just so the button would fit, and it has a really, really strong oily smell to it. I mean, it smells like leather, but it smells like it's just been oiled with something, and it really kind of stinks. But anyhow, I can, you know, for the price you pay, I can deal with that. It's not a big deal. $25, I mean, for a fixed blade of All-8 of this quality. And actually, I love the way it looks. I don't know about you, but for $25, I think that looks pretty flashy. Anyhow, so basically, that's your specs straight out of the box. What I'm going to talk about the knife real quick is my likability scale on the knife overall is a 5 out of 5. You know, the steel's common, I know that, but guess what? It's my favorite stainless steel because it is inexpensive and I have not had any Allstate ever rust on me. And I think that's saying a lot, because here in Louisiana, stuff rusts really easy, and I've never had Allstate rust on me. I wish I could just switch to some footage of showing this knife in use, but I can't. This knife also comes in a diamond wood handle, and I have heard and held diamond wood before. I've heard that it is a little slippery. Well, Benchmade's Hunt series comes with a what they call a G10, I think. It's supposed to be like diamond wood, but it's black and white, or black, gray and white, something like that. Maybe just black and gray. And then they have the diamond wood that's supposed to look like wood, but it's not wood, it's G10. It's basically the same thing as this diamond wood here. It's not grippy at all. I don't like it, and I really don't even appreciate it. I'd rather real wood. That's just me. Everybody has their own opinion. It's just my opinion. It doesn't matter. I'm just an average Louisiana guy. All right, so my likability is a 5 out of 5 on here. Like I said, I love Allstate, and for $25 for a fixed blade that looks like this and feels so damn good in my hand, excuse my language. There's one guy that does a really good review on this knife. If you just YouTube it, you'll see he goes into a lot more detail. He's a little more structured than I am. I'm not that structured. I go off the top of my head. So I've already pretty much talked about value. Value, 5 out of 5, 25 plus change at Midway USA. You can't beat that for the value. I would not say it's a tactical knife, obviously. You could use it for self-defense. Man, you can use any knife for self-defense as long as it locks. If it's a folder and it locks, and, you know, as long as it's not a slip joint or something like that from Spyderco or some kind of old-timer, you know, that doesn't have a lock on it. But the ergos, okay, if you care about a proud tang and you're just really tender-handed, I don't know very many guys that are, but maybe for a lady, I would say 4 out of 5. But for me, I say 5 out of 5 if you don't mind that proud tang right here. For extended periods of time, I don't think it's going to bother anybody to use for extended periods on anything, because you're not going to be chopping wood with this. You're not going to be doing a lot of bushcraft tasks with this. You could probably do some, but anyhow, I just don't see that tang bothering you. I mean, it's just barely, you can see it kind of reminds me of the Kershaw line of hunting, but this is like, it's not quite as sharp as I thought it was going to be. But anyhow, that's enough about the knife, pretty much. And the sheath, you know, it's glued leather. It's cheap. It's glued together leather. It's sewed. You know, these little rivets, these little the stitching. I mean, it's going to come out over time. And it came, you know, with the little dents in it and all that. It doesn't matter. It's going to be more beat up than this if I do choose to carry it and use it. I have so many, it's just ridiculous. But just thought I'd do a video on this one because it's such a high value knife. My likability on the sheath is a 2 out of 5. The value, I think, is a 4 out of 5 for the price paid, but overall it's a 1 out of 5. But considered price, 4 out of 5. You know, in another category a lot of people don't talk about a lot, I'm gonna say dynamics and carry options. I would rate a 2 out of 5 because it's not MOLLE compatible. It's not Kydex, but at least you can still put it on a belt, and you really could still put it on something with MOLLE because it's not really going to flop all that much. It's a really light knife at 3.7 ounces, and to put it in the sheath, just to show you, you have to really shove it down in there in order to get to this piece where the jimping is to go over and snap. So there it is in the sheath. It's not terrible. Like I said, you know, it does its job. So dynamics and everything. Overall, the sheath, my likability is a 2 out of 5. Maybe for the money, a solid 3 out of 5. But anyway, let me go and get my Benchmade, and I'll show you. Bear with me. Okay, so here's my Benchmade bone collector. It's Michael Waddell's bone collector. There's the symbol right there, and then I had my name engraved. One of my best friends did this for me. And there it is, Waddell's bone collector. And then on the other side, of course, Benchmade in D2. You can pick that up right there, 15005 USA. This is a walnut handle. This is not diamond wood, so it's pretty cool. You got your thumb scallops here. I don't think the SOG had that on it, but it's okay because it has that finger choil that it just makes it all the difference. But anyway, which one will I use first? For skinning, probably this one, just to test it out, just because it was free to me. But I can say that this jimping on this one, it's not a knife review on this Benchmade, y'all, just bear with me. It's not aggressive at all. I mean, it's actually smooth. It serves no purpose for me, especially if your hands sweat. It serves no purpose. But being that it's D2, I'd like to test it out. Being that it's a little more expensive knife, well, I mean, a lot more expensive now if you look at them look them up on eBay. I forgot the exact model number, but anyway, a little more quality sheath here. I'd rate this one a 4 out of 5 on the leather. That's just me, and I do like leather, but I'm not going to pay $200 for a bushcraft sheath on a skinning knife, and I'm not going to pay that anyway. I'd rather go through Jesse with armor sheaths and get me a damn bulletproof sheath for a knife that I love. But anyway, this is what I was talking about with a little more quality leather. But if you compare the Benchmade, we got this. I'm not going to name the website because I dislike them strongly now. I'm not going to advocate their sales or anything like that. But you have, if I can stand these up. There you go. And I guess what makes this knife, they're both almost the exact same length. I think the SOG is maybe 0.1 or 2 inches longer. I mean, maybe quarter inch, maybe a quarter inch. But anyway, I'm not going to break out a ruler right now. I just wanted to compare them, and you can see why the SOG feels so much more substantial in the hand. Of course, it's got a bigger, wider handle. Hey, I like that for fixed blades. I like that for skinning knives because you just get more purchase. So, you know, I'm going to use both of these on deer this year. It's just, I think I'm going to use this one first just to try it out, just because it was a gift, and try to do a video for everybody. I'll probably skip the gutting part, but just to skin it, show you that. And then I may actually just use both knives and compare and just be like, okay, is it really worth a D2 if you know how to sharpen well? And you know, AUS 8 sharpens fast, and D2, it sharpens okay, but it doesn't sharpen as fast as AUS 8. So if you know how to sharpen and you're not cleaning multiple deer at one time, how come you can't skin 1 or 2 deer with one knife like AUS 8 and go home and sharpen the darn thing before you kill your next deer or whatever it is you're hunting? So anyway, that's both knives. You can see that the Waddell, the bone collector, has a longer cutting edge and more belly. A little more belly to it, especially toward the end. But I love both knives. And this one runs about 80 when we bought it, plus shipping. So probably about more like 90. And then round it off. And then now on eBay, I've seen these for up to $150, which I don't think it's worth it, just in case you were on the fence on that. This right here on Midway, they still have them. I haven't looked recently, but for $25, I mean, even for $35, I would say this is a steal. So thanks.